All right, then hello and welcome to another episode of Douglasville Impact, our community podcast, coming at you again from points around Douglasville. We're all coming to you from our separate spaces around the city. We're still social distancing in our quadcast style, but we still have a fun show, lots of good fun stuff and good information coming out this week. So we will jump right in and introduce everyone. I am Jason Post. We have joining us again today, Mr. Aaron Szarowicz.
Hello, good to be back.
It's been a while.
Ms. Hayley Chapman.
Hello, all.
And from our Parks and Recreation Department, joining us today is Ms. Jessie Mosely.
Hey guys, super stoked to be here.
We're glad you're here. You guys got all kinds of fun stuff starting back up and coming out, new programs and all kinds of neat things happening at the park, right? So we're going to...
Yes, we got a lot of stuff
all
going.
about everything going on. It'll be fun. So, all right, you guys having a good week? Having a good weekend? Good stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's been a fun time. So it's, the weather was nice this weekend. So we're actually able to get out and get around a little bit.
It has been nice actually lately.
But between the rain, I mean, it'll be sunny and then it'll rain for about 5 minutes, torrentially, and then it'll be sunny again. So if you can get in between the rain, it's been really nice out. So,
well,
we lost power.
Florida.
We lost power at my house at 4 on Saturday, and then it didn't come back on until sometime in the middle of the night. So,
Oh, wow.
well, that's a new adventure. See,
yeah, right.
It was
That's
super
easy
fun.
stuff.
Yeah, super fun.
2020, that's nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't even sweating that at this point.
Right.
All right, so well, that's fun. So what else, Aaron? Go ahead and tell us what else is going on. You got some cool, fun news happening.
What else isn't going on, Jason? That's the real question that we need to ask ourselves. No, so we have our Phase 3 reopening happening this week, Wednesday. July 1st is kind of when it'll take effect. So included in that is the reopening of the conference center. And then you can once again rent out space in the community centers, Ike Owings and Alice Hawthorne. So I hope that's still current. And then the only thing that we kind of last week, we kind of released some information out about playground equipment and all that kind of stuff being reopened. I think we're going to kind of pivot on that, and those are kind of going to be the only things that will remain kind of as is and kind of off limits-ish kind of thing. So just to kind of make sure, and I think that was kind of as a result from Governor Kemp's order yesterday. So we kind of have to just kind of roll with what the governor's office is saying in terms of closures and things like that. So we're trying to just stay up to speed on those things.
And that's one of those hard touch points to really keep clean. Kids get on a playground and they're everywhere on it. And so
Right.
That's a touchy one anyway. That's difficult to, really sanitize regularly enough to make it safe.
Yeah, and no one wants to run out there and tell kids to get off playground equipment. It's kind of a tough. It's kind of a tough thing. I don't think a lot of people have that in them. But anyways, and then so moving along, kind of a recap. Last week, the Douglasville Police Department held a virtual town hall. So Chief Sparks kind of touched on the department's use of force techniques, and then kind of the Douglasville Police Department's training methods that they use and how they hold themselves accountable, and then how public the residents and things can hold them accountable. So we recorded that stream, and that stream is available on our YouTube page. So you can just go onto YouTube and type in the search bar Douglasville City TV, and it'll pop right up, and you can watch that whole thing. The police department does a really good job of being transparent. So all of their policies and things, they'll occasionally post it on their social media pages, but those things are always available on the City of Douglasville website. So that's douglasvillega.gov. You can pretty much access any document related to the city on there. So if you want to kind of take a closer look at some of the policies that the DPD has, you can definitely do that. And they also put out their crime stats too. So if you want a good kind of solid reference to get some data and information. Douglasville Police Department gets all of their data from the GBI and the FBI, so those are really reliable sources there. So then finally, it's kind of staying with the parks. West Pines is having their first, I believe it's their first PGA event, the West Pines Open. That's on Tuesday, July 7th, and that's, right at the crack of dawn till whenever everybody finishes up. So if you want to get up early and get out, you can definitely go watch that. Registration is still open for any players who can and want to register for that. So you can find that online as well. So we're really excited to host that event. I think that'll be a big deal for West Pines. So
yeah, that one's super exciting, and that's an official PGA Tour event.
Georgia PGA event. A lot of amateurs playing there, and then PGA card holders, I think too. So.
Yeah, it's exciting. Right. So if you're interested, if you go back and watch our last episode, we actually had Chris Cartwright, our pro from West Pines, on talking all about the golf course and talking about the PGA tournament coming up and everything. So you'll go back and you can watch it on our YouTube page, or go back in your podcast streaming app and look at the previous episode, listen to the previous episode.
There you go.
A lot of good stuff there. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So is that it? Is that all?
That's it for now. Stay tuned for Hayley. She'll have more information. That's right.
So yeah, and Hayley gets all the fun stuff, right? So Hayley's our good news ambassador for the day, right?
Bringing the happiness.
We can never take too much happiness right now. So awesome. What's going on, Hayley?
Well, on our first happiness news is that District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III and District 3 Commissioner Turinia Carthen are hosting a free food giveaway at the American Legion Post 145. That will be on July 3rd at 2 p.m. And that post is located at 13141 Veterans Memorial Highway. So it's just a really great resource for the public.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wanted to make sure, note for everybody, that due to COVID restrictions, all citizens must remain in their car, but a really great resource for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And that's awesome.
Moving along on the happiness train, we have the second class of the 2020 Entrepreneur Bootcamp coming up. That is going to be released on July 9th. And that one is the Small Business Checklist. And that is hosted by our own April. So it's for those who aren't aware of it, it is a course that educates small business owners on how to start a business in Douglasville and how to be successful, which is really awesome.
That's
nice. And that was one that was originally planned to be a full in-person coursework, and 2020 happened. So we took a step back and said, hey, let's make it a virtual thing. So yeah, they're releasing those on a quarterly basis or something like that. So so it's a nice option for anyone who has a small business and things like that. So yeah, very good stuff. And April McCowan, she hosts those and gives a lot of good information. So definitely go check those out.
Wealth of knowledge. Up next on the train is, unfortunately, we know that our July 4th parade and fireworks, or the parade has been canceled and the fireworks have been postponed until Labor Day. So they're still happening.
Still coming.
But for those that need their 4th of July explosions, the fireworks in Carrollton are still happening, and the Sounds of Liberty concert in Carrollton is happening as well. So if you need some music and bright lights, that is still an option. But make sure to come back for us for Labor Day for our fireworks.
Oh yeah. So Labor Day, hopefully we'll still have those kind of going off, and I'm sure over in Carrollton they got social distancing stuff set up and everything for their organization wise. So, or you can just go to, I'm guessing on July 3rd, July 4th, you can probably go to any neighborhood and just pull up a chair on the lawn and watch the show because they've already started in my neighborhood. I'm pretty sure fireworks will be everywhere.
By my house, it's been going for like 2 months, so people are ready. Yeah.
Well, you're right there next to the Braves Stadium too, right? They should do a big show. You would think they would do a nice big show right there.
Maybe.
You see those everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. What else we got?
Well, last but certainly not least on my happiness train is the farmers market. It's actually happening tonight. And it happens every Tuesday all through September 29th. It's going to be 3 to 7 p.m. at the old police precinct building on Church Street in downtown Douglasville. So please do make sure to check that out tonight. I know we're having produce. There's bath products, homemade ice cream, crafts, jewelry. Like, really, I'm super excited personally about it. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are doing vendor spotlights actually, so you can get to know each vendor ahead of time. And you also get to see which vendor will be attending that week. And we've got, tonight we have a really big assortment. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
And because new vendors are jumping on all the time, right? So the homemade ice cream really caught my eye on the list this week. So.
Yeah.
I'm excited for those bath products, the bath bombs and soap. So.
Yeah, that sounds good. So they've had a pretty good turnout. And lots of vendors, like I said, it's getting bigger every week they have it. More vendors are jumping online. So good time to come out. Yeah, there was a little bit of rain, last week, but looks good hopefully for this afternoon. So come on out and check it out. So, and that's every Tuesday. So we're filming this on a Tuesday, but every Tuesday for the foreseeable future, farmers market will be out in downtown Douglasville. So come get your produce and all kinds of goodies.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that's everything for our happiness train today.
Yes, it is. The train ride has ended. Thank you.
No worries.
I feel better.
We have more happiness stuff coming up. So
I feel better. My day's improved.
I'm glad I had a ticket to ride.
That's our only goal, as long as we make somebody's day better. So, but the happiness is not going to end because we're going to go and talk about some stuff happening in our parks and stuff coming up, and some new programs and some new activities and things that you guys are doing over there. And that's all happy stuff, right? So let's introduce first off. So Jesse, tell us a little bit about you and what you do with our parks.
Yeah, so I'm Jessie Mosely. I'm the athletic coordinator for the Parks Department. So that basically, in a nutshell, just means that I run all of the athletic programs that we do over here. So youth programs, athletic programs, therapeutic programs, things of that nature. Summer camps that involve skills camps, anything that you can think that's sports related, I run that.
And you guys do a lot of that stuff. So
Right, yeah. So, when people rent fields and stuff, yeah.
And the field rentals are opening back up, I guess, with this the next phase of our opening on July 1. The field rentals are another thing that's opening back up, correct?
Correct. So with restrictions, though. So we're opening our fields up. So we're talking about like baseball fields, the football field, the soccer fields. They're open for practice use only. So if there's a team, maybe a travel ball team, or just, a group that considers themselves a team, if they want to reserve our fields for practice use, they can do that as long as their team is 10 people or less. Any special events, games, tournaments, things like that, we're still holding off on.
Yeah. And that's very, and I know my kids' soccer has kind of started back up, but they're just doing skill training and things like that. They're not really doing scrimmaging or gameplay type stuff. It's just skill exercises and things that they can do a little more spaced out, but he's just happy to be back out there with a ball.
Right. So. Yeah, I think most people that want to come back out, because I've had all kinds of people emailing and calling me about getting back out on the fields. They just want to get out and do something.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy he's just kicking a ball somewhere other than my living room.
Right.
So awesome. And you guys have some plans. You're looking at the athletic programs and stuff moving forward, and how you guys can roll those out. I'm assuming you guys are.
Yeah, so
at how that can work.
Right, that's a little bit more touchy, just because with any sport, especially when you get into leagues and games, there's always spectators. There's always, two teams involved at least. A lot of contact, even if something like basketball, you're not tackling another person, but you're still touching the ball and everybody's touching it. So we're very hopeful to start our athletics back up, but we're still proceeding with caution because we just want to make sure we're doing what's best for everybody involved.
Yeah. And then that's what, golf is fine, but when you're talking basketball, and football and soccer, it's a close contact sport. You're right there in somebody else's face. So, that's something that you really got to look at and figure out how to make that work and stuff. And, the goal is obviously the first goal is going to be to keep people safe. And then how can we, provide these services and activities and things to the public and still keep them safe? So, yeah. So aside from the athletic stuff, I know the Parks has a lot of programming and other activities that you guys have put a lot of thought into how you can roll out some programs and activities that are social distancing capable or virtual and different things like that. So let's talk about some of the other kind of programs and activities that the Parks does have coming up that we are able to roll out within the current restrictions.
Right. Yeah. So we actually, back at the end of March, right after everything started shutting down, we hired our new recreation program coordinator, Szarowicz, and she's been doing a really good job of basically since the beginning, since she's been here, providing opportunities for the community, virtual, on social media, wrecking a bag, going out to the community and giving bags to kids. So right now, she specifically is working on our virtual summer camp. So she has a number of kids that are enrolled in different age groups where every week she's meeting with them and giving them activities for their virtual summer camp. But on top of that, one of our initiatives that we wanted to start after we realized it's going to be hard to start up our athletics and our sports is an outdoor recreation initiative. So other ways that people can get outside and do stuff where they can practice social distancing and they're not, inside in a classroom in an enclosed space, but it still provides them with an opportunity to get out and do something recreationally. So some of our programs that we've started up, we started our outdoor yoga program last Monday, I believe, and that's on Mondays and Saturdays. So it's on Mondays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday mornings from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And it's $15 a class. You get to do the yoga class out by the lake, by the pavilion, out, by Hunter Park. So it's really nice, scenic. You get to be out, do an activity, and there's plenty of room for social distancing since it's yoga. As long as you can see the instructor, you can get as distant as you want. Another big program that we're looking at rolling out soon is our bike program. We're still hammering out the details on that just because we want to make sure with our bikes, we have a lot of people that come to our park and walk around our track and run. People bring strollers, bring their dogs and walk. So we want to make sure that when we roll out our bike program, it's not interfering with our participants that already come out to our trails. So that's something we're really excited about. We already have our bikes. We're working on getting our city decals on the bikes. Residents can come and rent a bike and ride around the park and just have a really good time. So we're really stoked about that. And then on top of that, we do have a few athletics related activities that we're starting up. So we just started up our open pickleball yesterday at the Alice Hawthorne gym. We wanted to start pickleball because if you don't know what pickleball is, it's basically, I look at it as it's like a fusion of ping pong and tennis. So you're standing up, with a net like you would be with tennis, but you have a hard wood paddle, like a ping pong paddle with a kind of like a wiffle ball that you hit back and forth. But we wanted to start that up because you're not really touching the ball. And we have plenty of, if you're whoever lobs the ball to begin with, we have plenty of replacement balls. So you don't even have to touch the ball that you've already started with. You can really socially distance because even if you play 2-on-2, you don't have to be right on top of each other to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So we're really stoked about that to get some athletics back, especially over at Alice Hawthorne, where we've done a lot of our renovations. It's really nice over there. They've redone the floor, the gym. The gym looks amazing.
It does look good.
if you haven't been over to see it, it's awesome. I really recommend that you go. But our open pickleball is on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it is 21 and older because it's more of an adult sport. But we're really stoked about that. And then lastly, at the end of July 20th through 24th, our other athletic staff, Cameron Baker, is hosting a Baller Basics basketball skills camp. And that is for ages 5 through 12. It's $45 to register. It's the whole week, it's 5 days. It's going to rotate to where we only have 10 kids at a time. That way we don't have too large of a group. And we're going to make sure. So the CDC has this list of guidelines. It's like, it originally was 32, but I think it's up to maybe 36 or 37, something like that.
It's very extensive.
It's very extensive, for any type of summer camp. So we're going to be following those 37 initiatives for our camp, just to make sure that everybody's safe. But we're really excited about that.
Yeah, and that's what, like you said, the governor has released all of his executive orders that keep coming out, have all these stipulations for the different things. So, like for the camps and for sports, there's a whole list of guidelines for the public spaces. I mean, we know the conference center and our rentable spaces are about to open back up as well on July 1, and there's a whole list for events and stuff and those kind of situations also that have a whole list of guidelines. So we're making sure that everything that we do here as the city, whether it's a program that you guys are doing over at the park or whether it's a space that is available for rent at the conference center, you can rest assured that all of those guidelines have been read and complied with. So you'll see social distancing markers and signage and hand sanitizer stations and everything that's on those lists, has been put into place for when we are opening things back up. So we're not just kind of opening back up and saying, have at it. It's all done with, and I think as we go forward, we're going to get to the point, realize that pretty much everything that out there now, for as far as we can see, is going to be with some guidelines and things in place. So it's not just we're back to business as usual from 2019. This is the new 2020 version of opening back up. So all those guidelines are being adhered to, whether it's with our activities and our camps or with our events and things that are happening at the conference center. So there's a lot to do and a lot of guidelines to meet, but we're making sure that we've checked every box.
Right.
Because again, safety is safety first, right? We want to make sure that anybody that comes out and participates in a camp or a program or something like that leaves and feels good about the time they've spent here and feels safe when they are here. So we're taking a lot of extra steps and measures to make sure that that's the way it works. So, and you guys have clearly put a lot of thought into all the different things you can do and stuff. And I'm super excited about, like so you mentioned like the pickleball. We just went through, like you said, a whole renovation over at the Hawthorne Center. They're still doing some work on some of the outside stuff, but the gymnasium floor is fully new. A lot of the stuff, but that's a basketball. It's traditionally been where basketball happens, right. And basketball is one of those things where, other than skill training, you just can't get out and play even one-on-one basketball without getting in somebody's face. That's how basketball works.
Right.
So the pickleball is an excellent option to have an activity that uses the space and uses that new flooring and everything without, with still being able to social distance and stuff. So that's awesome. And I haven't played pickleball probably since middle school. Seems like we did a section of it in middle school gym. But yeah, that would be a fun option. We play tennis, so it's close enough. So on the pickleball, is the net tennis height or is it volleyball height?
It's tennis height. It's short.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I could do that. That's good. Check that one. So that'll be fun. And yeah, I know we've talked a lot about the bikes and stuff like that that are coming and working out all those details. And I know people come out and they walk around Hunter Park a lot. And a lot of people think about the track that goes around the lake. But at Hunter Park, if you include the sidewalk areas and the walking stuff around the ball fields and things, there's a lot of areas for walking over there. Right. I think people think about the track right around the lake, but there's some expanded pathways. Some people go out and then you can get a pretty lengthy walk in if you're actually going out down around the ball fields and looping back up to around the lake and things like that. So it's a great area for that. And so the yoga is probably a good idea too.
Right.
So that's awesome. So very cool. So what else you guys got going on over there? Is that enough?
I forgot to mention that we are starting our rentals back up, like you had mentioned earlier. So starting tomorrow,
right.
we're taking our rentals. But with that, it's going to be a similar situation where here at Ike Owings, we're only doing our 2 largest rooms, the ballroom and the meeting room. That way we can cap the capacity and make sure there's still enough room for people to be socially distant. And then at Alice Hawthorne, they're only reserving rentals for the gym for the same reason. But we are starting to take those rentals beginning tomorrow, July 1st.
Yeah. So that's good. So we can slowly start working things back in where it's safe and where we can. So excellent. Awesome. Good stuff. And then I know since this has started, like you said, Shahara has been doing a great job. I know we were working with her a little bit when you guys rolled out the Rec in a Bag program and then the Rec at Home stuff. And those were awesome when when everybody was sheltering in place, being able to take some activities to kids who couldn't get out and stuff just to keep them active and stuff. That was really fun. So you guys have been really innovative this entire time, trying to make sure we could still engage the community and still keep people active and engaged, even though when they couldn't leave their house. Now that people are able to get out a little bit, we're coming up with new ideas and new innovative things we can do just to make sure people are still having fun and staying active. Because I know that my quarantine diet added a few pounds, so activity would be good for everyone probably about now. So that's awesome. That's great. So and you can find all that information at the parks on our city's website, on the parks part of the website. You can go to douglasvillega.gov. You can go to douglasvilleparks.com, I think, and find all of that information on all of our parks, on all the different programs. We'll put links in the show notes for everything. So there's plenty happening in our parks. There's plenty happening around the community and the city, and lots of stuff going on. If you want to make sure you don't miss anything, you can make sure you're following all of the social media pages for the city on our Instagram. We have an Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. So you can follow the city of Douglasville. The parks has a separate group on Facebook that's dedicated just to park stuff. So you can find the Parks and Recreation group on our Facebook page and follow them to stay up to date on all the things specifically happening in the parks. So we put all that information out on the website, on the social media. We talk about it as much as we can on the podcast. So make sure to plug in and stay in contact so you can find out about all those new things that are coming. So we're trying our best to make sure that there is plenty of stuff to do in a safe way. So anything else you want to tell us about before we wrap up, Miss Jessie?
I think that's about it. Just making sure everybody knows
all the stuff
that we have coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. So awesome. That's great. So like I said, stay tuned for more details on any of that coming up. And I know we got some more stuff in the pipeline coming down. So definitely follow us on Facebook and keep an eye out for new things coming. So lots of exciting, fun stuff coming up. So thank you guys all for joining us. Hayley, Aaron, thanks for joining us again. Thank you for joining us as well, Jessie, and telling us about all those things happening with the parks. And we'll keep everybody informed about it. Thank you all for listening and watching. And we will see you next time on Douglasville Impact. Have a good week, everybody.